Okay, so welcome to your mat this morning, everybody. We're going to get started. Let's get started by coming in to a tabletop position. When you get into tabletop pose, just take a moment to spread your fingers out wide. Be proud of yourself for arriving on your mat this morning. And the knees can be hip width apart. You can press the tops of the feet down into the floor. When you inhale, draw your gaze up and drop your navel down, taking cow pose for a few breaths, just to have a gentle stretch. Even in this moment of cow pose, allow your spine just to drop down, natural curves of the spine. When you exhale, round through your back and come into a cat stretch, taking a few moments in your cat pose to savor the stretch of the back, the spine, the neck. On the inhalation, you can send the gaze forward, tailbone floating upward. Exhale, round through your back and move into your cat stretch. We'll do this 2 more times, inhaling to cow pose. Exhaling to cat pose. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Back to your neutral tabletop position. Take your knees wide as the outside edges. Big toes come together. Sink your hips back towards the heels. Walk your fingers forward and move into a child's pose. In child's pose, stretch fingertips long towards the front of your mat. Breathe deeply, starting your Ujjayi pranayama. An Ujjayi breath. The audible, oceanic sounding breath is created by keeping your lips closed as you're exhaling, but imagining that you're fogging up a mirror. Set the intention that there's no better place to be than right here, right now. Reconnecting with your body. Setting the intention with this practice that today will be a day of feeling present. And whenever we do feel that we've lost connection to the present moment, we can anchor ourselves back by coming to our deep breath. So take an expansive inhale and really long exhale out. Downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, reach your seat to the sky. And in your downward facing dog, you can pedal at your feet. Walking out your dog, bend one knee, bend the other. Then finding a place of stillness. In downward facing dog, it is always okay to keep the knees bent. Press your yoga mat away with your palms and plug into your thumb and your pointer finger. Lower abdomen gently lifts. Soft gaze towards the back of your mat or the wall behind you. Next inhale, send the right leg up to the sky. Bend your knee, draw your heel towards your opposite shoulder blade. Inhale your leg high to the sky. When you exhale, step your foot forward between your palms. Take your right hand, stretch it up to the sky for a low lunge twist. In low lunge twist, take the right hand and reach it towards the back wall. Send your gaze over your right shoulder to have a little more stretch to the outer hip and glute. Take your hand back up at the sky, plant the palm and step it back. High plank pose. In high plank, we'll push the mat away with the palms, strong thighs. Imagine that you're holding a yoga block between the knees. Downward facing dog. Do this again. Inhale forward to a high plank pose. Pause here, breathe. Press the mat away, draw low ribs up and in. Downward facing dog. Last time through, inhale forward, high plank pose, building some heat. In high planks, legs can be straight or knees down. Downward facing dog. Take your left leg up to the sky. Bend your knee, open up your hip. Few breaths here. Level your shoulders even on your palms. Inhale, send your leg high, level the hips. Step your foot forward between your palms, coming into low lunge. Take your left hand, stretch it up to the sky. Then reach your left hand towards the back of your mat. Send your gaze over your left shoulder, a little deeper twist, little deeper stretch. Hand releases down. This time we're stepping forward to the top of our mats. Come into ragdoll pose. Feet hip width apart or wider. Fold forward, hinge from the hip creases. You can have a generous bend to the knees and grab the opposite bicep or elbow. We can sway a little side to side. Then find a point of stillness. Let the head hang heavy. As we move through our practice today, tune into how you feel in the poses. If anything does not feel right, it's becoming uncomfortable to the point where it's verging on painful, we always can skip that pose. We can move out of a pose or ease up, modify or adjust. Relax your hands down towards the ground and interlace your fingers behind your back. Take your knuckles up towards the sky, overhead, stretch through the shoulders and the chest. Release your hands down towards the ground. Inhale, come to a halfway lift, flat back. Exhale and fold forward. Press down through your feet, rising up to a mountain pose. Tadasana, reach into the sky. Exhale, hands come to the heart, Samasthiti. Next inhalation, mountain pose, reach upward. Fold forward, exhale. Flat back, knees can bend. Inhale to a halfway lift, flat back, gazing just to the toes. Plant your hands, step back to a high plank position. Slide it forward an inch or two, then lower down a few inches for low plank chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. We can also take gentle cobra where the knees and thighs rest on the mat. And up dog, float your knees, thighs up and lift through your lower abdomen. Downward facing dog, reach your seat to the sky. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out. One more, breathe in. Empty all the air out. Step or hop your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Let's move with the breath. Inhale, mountain pose, reach to the sky. Fold forward, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or hop it back, high to low plank chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale all of it out. Step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Fold forward, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high to low plank chaturanga. Breathe in for upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take your right leg high as you breathe in. On your exhalation, draw your knee towards your nose, bringing the shoulders forward. Inhale, take your leg high. Exhale, draw your knee to your right elbow. Inhale, send your leg high. Exhale, draw it across to the left. Inhale your leg high to the sky. This time, step your foot forward into a low lunge. Take the right hand up towards the sky. It's a beautiful deep twist. Release the right hand down towards the mat. Step your left foot forward to the top of the mat. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale and fold. Sink your hips back into a chair pose, Utkatasana. Reach the arms up. Just one breath here. Fold forward, exhale out. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, high to low plank, chaturanga. Note we can always skip these. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Send your left leg high as you breathe in. Exhale, draw your knee towards your nose. Inhale, leg high. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale, reach it high. Exhale, draw it across to the right. Inhale, reach your leg high. Step it forward between your palms. Low lunge twist. Take a breath and reach up. Long inhale. Plant your hands as you exhale. Step your foot forward. Halfway lift on the in-breath. Folding forward. Exhale out. Inhale to chair pose, just one breath here. Fold forward, empty out. Inhale's your halfway lift. On the exhale, step or hop it back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take your right leg to the sky, breathe in. Exhale, step right foot forward. Warrior one, back heel down. Arms reach up to the sky. Good, pause here, sink low in your warrior one. Stance is long enough so that knee doesn't push past heel. Square shoulders, reach up and float the ribcage away from the pelvis. Deeper inhale. On the exhalation, airplane the arms, torso leans forward. Gaze down towards your big toe. Hug shoulder blades together. Now lift up and in through the lower ribs. Next inhale, warrior one, reach to the sky. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back, chaturanga, one leg lifted is an optional. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left leg lifted. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, warrior one. And warrior one, we adjust, take a long stance. Front thigh sinks, press into back foot. Keep lifting up through your heart center, looking higher if that feels good in your body. Next exhale, airplane the arms, torso leans forward. And hug shoulder blades together. Take navel and draw it gently up, away from the yoga mat. Breathe in and come to a warrior one. Plant your hands, step it back, high plank. Lowering down to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Deep breath in. Empty it out. Take your right leg high as you inhale. Let's start to flow with the breath. Exhale, full, step it forward. Inhale, warrior one. Airplane the arms, exhale. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, chaturanga. Flow at your own pace. Breathe in, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left leg lift. Step it forward. Inhale's warrior one. Airplane the arms. Breathe in, warrior one. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Last time, right leg lifts. Step it forward. Inhale, warrior one. Airplane arms. Warrior one, reach tall. Plant the hands. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward. Exhale, downward. Left leg lifts. Step it forward. Inhale, warrior one. Airplane the arms. Breathe in, warrior one. Planting hands. High to low plank, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Emptying it out. Next inhale, right leg is lifting to the sky. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Crescent lunge is next. You can keep your back knee lifted or place the knee down. Stretch your arms high to the sky. And in crescent lunge, if your back knee is lifted, try to straighten your back leg. Hug inner thighs towards each other. Reaching up and spinning the triceps forward. Deeper breath in. On the exhalation, tall twist. Right arm reaches back, left arm reaches forward. Inhale back to center, crescent lunge. Tall twist on the exhale. Inhale, center. One more time, tall twist, exhale, pause here. 3 deep breaths. 2 more. Yeah, take 1 more breath. Inhale, come back to center. On your exhalation, plant your hands. Step it back, high plank pose. Side plank is next. Slide your right hand an inch or 2 forward. Roll to the right, Sweep your left hand to the sky. Option to float the left leg up. Bend the knee, step it behind you, moving into wild thing. If you've taken a wild thing, take your time, come back. Try to find your side plank pose, lots of core work. Come to high plank pose, pause, feel steady. Option to lower down into chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Building our heat, take your left leg high. Exhale, step left foot forward. Crescent lunge, back leg straight or knee down. Knee down is a great choice if you're struggling with low back pain. Gives more support to the pelvis. Press back through the heel. Reach up powerfully through fingers as front thigh sinks. Next exhalation, tall twist, left arm back, right arm is forward. Inhale, back to the center. We'll move with the breath a few times. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Pause here, breathe. 3 breaths. 2 breaths. 1 more in-breath. Exhale, twist it out a little more. Now take it to the center with an inhale. Plant your hands, step it back, high plank pose. Side plank, prepare by sliding your left hand an inch or 2 forward. Roll to the left, send right hand high. Option to lift the right leg up, bend the knee, step it behind you. Come into wild thing. Slowly we come back to side plank. And move it to high plank pose. Strong core, steady your pose. Stay here, chaturanga. Upward facing to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Empty it all out. 1 more time, breathe in. Exhale it out. Step or hop your feet to the top of your mat. Inhales, half lift. Exhale to fold. Rise up to a mountain pose, Siddhasana. Hold here, arms overhead. Palms are almost like you're pressing a yoga block between your hands overhead. Lift your left knee up towards your chest, one-legged mountain pose, flexing the foot. Begin to straighten your left leg. Sole of foot points towards the wall in front of you. Lift your leg as high as you can without leaning back. Here for 3, 2, airplane or warrior 2 or warrior 3 are next. You can reach forward. For warrior 3, if you're doing airplane pose, take the arms back like airplane wings, reaching towards the back of the mat. Try flexing your left foot, push through the heel. Slowly land back in your crescent lunge. Mine was not so slow, but that's okay. They call it yoga practice, not yoga perfect. Arms reach up to the sky in a crescent lunge. Exhale, open to your warrior 2. Warrior 2, we take a long stance. Maybe move a little side to side. Finding that sweet spot in the pose. When I say sweet spot, I don't mean easy. We want to challenge ourselves enough to stay present, to be here in the moment in our bodies. But if we challenge ourselves and push so deep that we bypass our ability to breathe, that is where we're going to lose the connection of body, mind, and soul, which is connected through the breath. Reach out a little more. Now reach forward, tip down, side angle pose. Right hand can reach for the mat or elbow on thigh. Left arm is stretching to the sky. Option for a half bind. Flip your palm to face the opposite way. Slide the back of your hand on the small of your back, reaching your fingertips towards your right hip crease. Right? And then broaden across your chest. You gaze up towards the sky if it feels right. And open the arms back up. Reverse warriors next. Front thigh sinking deeply, reach it up and back. On the inhalation, come up, straighten the leg. Move your back foot in about a half a foot closer for the triangle pose, reaching the arms out. Reach forward, and as you reach forward, this left hip might slide forward, and that's perfectly okay. And then left arm reaches high for triangle pose. Gazing down towards the floor, may free the breath. Pull yourself up to standing, bend the front knee, rise up. Hands come to hips. Turn your heels and your toes out. Sink down into your goddess pose. Now in goddess pose today, we're going to keep the hands at the heart center, and we're just doing some little pulses. As we do these little pulses, it's just like an inch down, an inch up. You may choose to float your heels up as well. Wonderful strengthener. Either way, heels up, try to make sure that we're softening the toes. Each pulse, you sink a little bit lower. 3, 2, hold your low point. Savor a little bit of shaking. Come up to standing. Place your hands on your hips. Turn your feet. Cross Sarita. Separate leg forward, fold the toes, and the heels are now in a straight line. When you fold forward, visualize hinging from your hip creases so that your back stays nice and long, and you can hold onto the outsides of your calves, your ankles, or your feet. Walk your hands out in front of you, coming to a flat back. Turn the toes towards the front of the room. Step your left foot to the top of your mat. Feet can be hip width apart. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale's mountain pose. Moving to the opposite side, arms reach above you. Imagine holding a block between your palms. Lift your left knee up towards your chest. Stand very tall, strong core. Begin to straighten your right leg. Sole of foot points forward. Lift high without leaning back. 3, 2, warrior 3 or airplane pose. Softly landing in crescent lunge. Okay, arms reach to the sky. Finding stability, centering your mind, your body. Warrior 2 on the exhalation. And then we can move a little bit. Okay? I always like to stick my tailbone out and then take it too far under, finding the place that's more neutral. Each and every one of us is unique. Front knee hugs a little more towards the pinky side of the foot to stretch the inner thigh. Invite your breath in. Feel how your breath steadies the mind, takes the edges off of any emotional ups and downs. The breath is such a powerful tool on the mat and off the mat. Reach it forward, then tip it down. Side angle pose. Right hand can reach up to the sky. If you want to take a half bind, flip your palm to face the other direction. Then slide the back of your hand down towards the small of your back, or reaching for your hip crease. Slowly stack your shoulders, gazing up towards the ceiling if it is comfortable for your neck and allows you to breathe deeply. Send the arm back up if you've taken half bind. Pull yourself back up, warrior 2, then reverse the warrior. And gaze towards back foot for more side stretch. Rise up to standing, straighten your front leg. Place your hands on your hips. For triangle pose, inch your back foot in a couple inches closer. Arms reaching out. When you stretch forward with your left hand, your right hip may slide forward, and that's okay. Then release the hand down, can go to your shin, ankle, you could use a yoga block. Next inhalation, pull yourself up to standing. Place your hands on your hips, and we'll move into our goddess pose. I'm just going to turn my body around so that you can see my positioning, that you guys can stay facing the right edge of your mat. In your goddess pose, knees are stacked over heels. If they're going past, we're taking a longer stance. Okay. The hands come. This time, bigger movements, sink really low. Reach your arms down. With an inhalation, send your arms up. Straighten the legs. Exhale, sink it down. And start to move at your own pace. Inhale. Exhale, sink. Heels lifted is optional. Inhale up. Exhale, sink. Move with your breath. When we move and we breathe, we create a meditation, a quieting of the waves of thoughts. And in that stillness, intuition rises, wisdom, truth. Last one, hold low. Breathe. Challenge yourself to sink just a touch lower. Then next inhalation, come up to standing. Place hands on hips, turn your feet, and then this time interlace fingers behind your back. Lift up through your arms. Fold forward on the exhalation. Prasarita, rinsing out the shoulders, chest. And hands come down towards the ground. Walk your hands out in front of you. Take your right hand, stretch it up to the sky for a twist. Release the right hand down and send your left hand up to the sky, taking your twist. The hand comes down. Heels will lift up, turn forward towards the front of the room. Step to the top of the mat. And then take your feet as wide as the outer edges, lowering down into low yogi squat. In low yogi squat, tailbone can reach down towards the mat, elbows press gently towards inside of knees, palms together in a prayer position. It is also okay to keep your hips at the same height as your knees if this is not helpful for your hip joint or your knee joint to come so low. And then we can stay right there. In either version, begin to lift your heels up off the mat. Drop the heels down. Malasana with heel lift, same as goddess pose, the heel lift strengthens the pelvic floor. Right, so as you lift up, kind of hug your inner thighs in towards each other to get more strengthening. Lower the heels down. Pelvic floor strength is not just for women, it's so important for men as well. You keep your heels lifted and hug inner thighs in closer. Now from here, we're gonna slowly rise up. Keep your heels lifted. I always wanna rush this process, but try to slow it down. Yeah, shaking's okay. Ooh, when you get all the way to the top, drop your heels down. Could you hear my voice shaking? Walk your feet into what hip width apart. Once the feet are hip width apart, okay, we're gonna move into standing hand to foot pose. If you have a small space for your practice, turn yourself to the side of your mat like I'm doing. Okay. Take your left arm extended out like half of a capital T. Lift your right knee up. Hold on to the knee, or if it's available, grab your big toe, and then stretch your right foot forward in front of you. Send your gaze over towards your left hand, and draw your foot across to the right. Come back to the center. Slowly set, right foot down, switch sides. Right arm is reaching out. Left hand will come to your knee, or grab your big toe and send your foot forward. The leg does not have to be straight. You can gaze to your hand, draw your foot across to the left. Taking it back to the center, release the foot. Arm balancing, okay, so come down nice and low. When we come into our low position here, we'll be moving ourselves into a side crow. And if you're facing the side of your mat, it actually works really beautifully to use the length of your mat instead of like the front of the mat to move into the side crow. So I invite you to walk your hands towards like the front of your mat now, so that your left knee goes behind your left elbow rather goes behind your right knee. The right elbow on the hip is optional. It's very helpful if you're just getting started to have both elbows resting on the thigh. From there, we're going to begin to lean over onto our palms. Keep leaning as if you're trying to touch your right ear to the floor. Once you lean far enough over, the feet start to get light and float up. Holding, playing. Try to take a breath in, out. Try for one more breath in, Come back to the center. Walk your hands to the opposite side. And as you're walking your hands over, the right elbow goes behind the left thigh, on the left thigh behind the knee. Okay, right elbow is sort of a shelf. And if you'd like the additional help of the left elbow, bend that elbow and bring it towards the hip, leaning over onto the elbow shelf you've created. I like to look right to the right so that the ear comes closer to the ground, and then the feet can start to float on. Yeah. You can use your head as a kickstand like I'm doing here as well. Try to take 2 breath cycles. Come back to our toe squat with the toes touching and the knees bent. Then widen your knees out really wide. Start to walk your hands forward. And if it feels okay, keep walking the hands forward and drop the head down. Then hands will walk back up. Turn forward towards the front of your mat. Lift your hips up and sway your hips side to side. Our last pose for standing is Padahastasana, hand under foot pose. Slide your palms face somewhere in the bottoms of your feet. Elbows bend. This releases the wrists. It's also releasing the cervical spine. The weight of your head helps decompress the spine, the neck. This is a beautiful pose to remember throughout the day. Anytime that you're feeling like the weight of the world is on you, if you're feeling tension, maybe even a stress-related neck ache or headache, this is a great pose to come back to. Release your hands from your feet. Walk your feet together. Bend your knees and come to seated. Lie back onto your back. As we're lying onto the back, you're going to take your legs up to the sky. Working into core strengthening. For core strength today, lower your left leg down about 2 inches above the floor. Flex both of your feet. Take hands behind the head, elbows are wide. You're going to draw your nose up towards your right knee and lower down. Draw the nose up towards the knee and lower down. Continue to draw up and down, staying on the right leg. Push through both heels. Three more on this side. 2. Last one, hold up and switch the legs. You're gonna draw your knee up towards your nose a little more and lower down. We have 10 on this side. Keep the breath flowing. 4 more. 2. Last one. Hug your knees into your chest. Roll your head side to side. Set the soles of your feet onto the mat. Bridge pose. Feet are hip width apart. Press down into your feet. Lift your hips to the sky and tuck your triceps and shoulder muscles underneath you. The really nice thing about bridge is you can control how high you lift. Maybe if you're feeling compression through the low back, it's okay to lower the hips down a little more. Breathe into the upper chest. Shift your weight onto your left foot and send your right foot up to the sky. And point the foot towards the wall in front of you. Lift it up to the sky. Point your foot forward. Lift it to the sky and lower the foot down. Keep the hips lifted. We'll do the opposite side. Take your left leg up. Point your foot forward. Point it to the sky. Forward. Lift up. Lower the hips down. Take your arms out from underneath you. Sway your knees side to side, gentle windshield wiper. Bring the bottoms of your feet together and let the knees butterfly open. And as the butterfly knees open, and take your one hand and rest it on your heart. The other hand rests just above the navel. Eyes are closed, breathing. And from here, we'll begin to draw the knees together. Once the knees are together, take the hands behind the knees. Drawing knees in towards chest. We're going to take a supine child's pose to begin our hip series. In supine child's pose, the big toes can touch. You can have your hands on your knees. You can walk your hands to your shins or your calves. And you can also walk your hands to your feet, letting the knees be wider. And sinking the hips down closer to the floor. Happy baby pose, holding on to the outside edges of the feet, and draw the knees wide. Holding the outer edges of the feet only if it's different for you. If it's not, if this is the norm for you, maybe try holding from the inside of the foot. Low back is gently guided down towards the mat, but nothing is forced. Draw your knees back together. Take your right ankle and cross it over the top of your left thigh, creating a figure 4 shape. Here in half pigeon pose, an option is to take your right hand and place it on the inside of the right knee. So it's almost like you're placing your hand where your quadricep and calf are connecting, making that crease. Then press the hand gently forward. Now, left hand could go behind your knee and draw that knee in gently. Now, if you feel that this is not working or helpful for your knee joint, we could ease up and take both hands holding behind the left thigh. I really enjoyed this version because for me it stabilizes the knee to have the right hand there blocking as the left knee draws in towards the heart, stretching the outer glute region. And we'll release this side and try stretching the left side. So the left ankle crosses, the foot is flexed. Keep your right heel at the height of your right knee. Take your left hand and place it on where the quadricep and calf muscle are creasing. Press gently forward with your left hand so that the left knee tracks towards the front of your mat. Then right hand could go behind your right knee and we can gently start to bring the knee in. Right hand and left hand are moving in opposing directions. This version as well can be decompressive for the hip joint. If you have a long day ahead of you sitting, right, the hip joints are going to get really compressed through the sitting, that act of working all day. And this would be a great stretch for after work as well. Just be sure to warm your body up gently before. And then release this side. Set your left foot onto the floor and take your right leg up. Pull behind the right thigh, the calf or the top of the foot, and draw the foot gently back towards you. Bring it a little more towards your right shoulder, draw the foot back a little more if it's available. And let's release this side, set the sole of the right foot down. Take your left sole up towards the sky. Yeah, hold behind the thigh. Calf, top of the foot, draw the foot back. Foot can come a little more to the left, draw foot back. Hug knees in towards the chest, releasing. You can do some circles with the knees. Sometimes it feels nice as well to bring the knees wide and then do the circles. Arms out like a capital T. Softly gaze to your right hand, drop your knees to the left side of your mat for supine twist. Close your eyes and bring your attention inside your body. Knees will come back to the center. Draw the knees to the opposite side. Send your gaze to your left hand. Surrender into the pose, soften your muscles, allow the pose to help untie any remaining knots. Slowly come back to the center. Setting your feet onto the mat, knees bent. You can stay right here and lock the knees together. Arms are reaching at your sides about a foot away from the hips. Lift your chest and slide your shoulder blades comfortably down. Another choice is to send your legs out long in front of you and allow your feet to drop open. Here we close the eye, soften through your jaw and face. Allow your breath to become restful and easy. And in this Shavasana, a mantra to repeat in your mind. When I am present, I know peace. When I am present, I know peace. Begin to slowly wake up your body. You can wiggle your toes and wiggle your fingers. Stretch your arms over your head. Wonderful reawakening stretch. Bend your knees, slide your heels in towards your seat and roll off to your right side. Lay your head across your arm lightly like a pillow. Gently press up to a cross-legged seated position. And when you arrive at your cross-legged seat, join your hands together, your heart center, palms pressing together. As we move off of our mats today, moving with the awareness that the breath is with us, our ability to breathe deeply and use our deep breathing as an anchor to the present moment is with us in every moment of our day. Any time that we start to feel we're losing connection to our peace, send your awareness back to your breath. When I am present, I know peace. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, bow forward. Namaste.